I've been reflecting quite a lot while I've been here, actually, about how Vasika introduced us to the weekend, talking about the great value of seeing each other face to face. Just how much it makes a difference from seeing each other online, and maybe online is through the camera. Great to see you too. But there's something that you get from being in the presence of others. And I've again been reminded of that very much just now from the great chance we've had to wish Bhante happy birthday and to see Bhante. I personally found that very moving. There's something about seeing somebody that enables you to see, well, in the case of somebody who's very aged, you see their frailty, and that leads to a great sense of feeling for them. So there's been reflections for me on the weekend about the connectedness that comes from seeing each other face to face, being in each other's physical presence. And it brought a memory to mind of India, more of Indian order members than of India itself. And that was at a convention where we had a marquee in this very place. Maybe it was a year ago, maybe it was 2 years ago, I can't quite remember. But it was a special occasion because there were more Dhammacharinis and Dhammacharinis present here than ever before. And for many, it was their first time in the UK, and for many especially, it was the first time for an opportunity to see Bhante in the flesh. And their devotion was very, very striking. They were given instructions that because Bhante isn't so strong anymore, that when he goes for his walk, they should not sort of leap out in front of him and want a selfie and so on. Yeah? And they generally, I think, did quite well at resisting that. Parami is nodding, no, they didn't. And she's quite right, actually, because I do remember walking past the annex and finding a couple of Dharmacharis hidden with their cameras. But what it shows you is the great value that they feel in seeing the objects of their reverence, the objects of their devotion. And it's one of the great things that we can learn from our brothers and sisters in India. Being here has made Europe much more real for me. I know we have presences in Ghent, we have presences in Poland, we have presences in Hungary and so on. But that's just knowing. Now, having been with you all, I'll go away with a tangible feeling of that, a knowledge of it in the flesh. So I'm very grateful to have that experience with you all here. And my role now is to give you some kind of experience, some kind of taste, or to allow you to have the experience of seeing something of India face to face. And thinking of that, I couldn't help but think of Bhante again, and how Bhante, his knowledge of India comes from direct experience, from seeing it, from being there in present, in person, being fully present physically. So I'm just going to try and present India a little bit through his eyes. As you may know, Bhante discovered himself to be a Buddhist very young. He was conscripted by national service to go to India in the Signals Corps. When they were demobbed, he stayed there. Apparently quite naughty, but he just stayed there. And of course he wanted to explore Buddhism. He wanted to explore Buddhism in the land of its birth. Now I think it's fair to say that by his own account, his first experiences of Buddhism were quite a disappointment. Buddhism in the early part of the 20th century was virtually non-existent, just a very, very small presence and nothing terribly active or dynamic. He was quite disappointed by the formalism of most of the monks that he met there. That experience changed, I think, when he moved to Kalimpong and came in contact with Tibetan lamas in exile. But the biggest change in his experience of the vitality of Buddhism in India came about through an extraordinary event in the 20th century. It came about it came about in 1956, in October of that year, when Dr. B.R. Ambedkar made the great step of converting out of Hinduism into Buddhism, followed by hundreds, thousands, millions of new Indian Buddhists. I say new Indian Buddhists because previously they were what was known as the untouchable castes. Now it's really quite hard for us to imagine what that means, to be placed in society where you're not allowed to be touched, not allowed to be even seen in some cases for the risk of apparently bringing impurity to people. So the only way out of what Dr. Ambedkar called that hell of caste was to leave Hinduism behind altogether and to go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, which he did in a mass conversion in October 1956. 6 weeks later, Dr. Ambedkar was dead. 6 weeks later, his people who had converted with him were distraught. They were bereft. They were in absolute grief. Now, by extraordinary circumstances that Bhante has spoken about and written about, he found himself called to be in Nagpur, the site of the first mass conversions, at that time. At that time when he met the new Buddhists in a state of complete grief. And he found that an energy was working through him to meet the need that was there. He had no choice but to help to give them a sense of stability, a sense of hope in what they'd now been converted to. So he gave tirelessly of himself through that period. But in his account of it, it wasn't just a matter of him giving to the new Buddhists. He felt that through his contact with them, through seeing them face to face, through experiencing them, he was receiving something as well. He felt that he was receiving a deepened and strengthened understanding, or even confirmation of his own understanding of what it means to be a Buddhist, of what it means to go for refuge to the Three Jewels. He talks about seeing in their eyes, as he tried to renew their hope at great programs in Nagpur, he'd see their fervour, their zeal, their sincerity, and he could tell through looking into their eyes that for them, Buddhism literally was their only hope from the hell of caste, for salvation from the hell of caste. He compared it with his own experience of suffering sometimes great frustrations in his spiritual life and feeling that there was no earthly refuge for him. His refuge was only in taking refuge at the feet of the Buddha. But he wondered just how much greater that would be if your whole life has been one lived under constant harassment, constant negation. So, in the remaining years of Bhante's time in India, he'd pay annual visits to the new Buddhists, encouraging them, helping them to understand what the Dharma was, to stabilise their practice of it. Eventually, he returned to the UK, and the founding of Triratna came about, the founding of the order and the movement. And the order and movement has grown. It has grown to the point where, as Vasika has mentioned, now around a third of order members are in India, and I think it's around a half of mitras in the world are in India, and that's not to think of what we might call friends, the hundreds upon thousands of people who have a strong feeling for Buddhism, but still perhaps haven't encountered a very practicable way where it can become a real part of their lives. And Triratna, as it's grown, has responded to that need. It's developed in India as well, to that degree that I've mentioned. Now, there's two main strands of the work that we do in India. There's different ways of presenting India. You could present it from the different geographical regions where we're active, but I want here just to introduce us to two Indians talking about their experience of two strands of our work there. In the first place, there's the strand of social work. This is work which is supported by the Karuna Trust. It involves hostels, health programs, educational programs, and so forth. Now, Balat has direct experience of the benefits of that. He's going to come and speak to us. I had the great fortune of meeting Balat on a Karuna appeal earlier this year, where he'd literally just arrived for the first time in the UK from India, and I think within days he was out on the streets of West London knocking on people's doors. So that tells you something about his heroism. And he was also a beacon of friendliness and good cooking in the community.
I'm a bit nervous because but this is my first time on the stage. I never give talk and I never speak in front of large public. But thank you very much, and Jai Bhim to all. Um, well, I don't know where to start, but I would like to start from my life where I was born and how my life has transformed because of the Karuna projects, Karuna hostel projects. So I was born in a very small village. It's named Kathura Gandhi. That's in Amravati district. Maybe Amal Vacha might know because he been to Amravati. So yeah, I was born in Amravati, in Kathura Gandhi, in a very small village where the caste discrimination is very strong. Especially, I was born in a Dalit community. Dalit means untouchable, like getting access to everything, like water, school, or everything is very difficult. And for me, especially, getting access to the education was the most difficult things in my life. So when I finished my primary education, well, in my village, the education is available only primary level. There is no school after primary. There is no hospital. There is no like proper transportations to get from my village to another. So we got only a small auto where you can't imagine the 7 people can sit, and well, hardly 3 people can sit, but sometimes 7 people can sit in that small auto. So it's really. So I was born in a very adverse condition, and when I finished my primary education, my parents had a very big question that where shall I send my son for further education? Because though my parents are farming, and farming is the only profession in the village, though they are marginal farmers, but they are highly inspired by the word of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. And because the reason, my grandfather, he embraced Buddhism in 1956 in Nagpur, Diksha Bhumi. And when he got back to, it was amazing actually. My grandfather, he just heard about that there is a Babasaheb Ambedkar is coming to Nagpur. He haven't heard about anything that there is a conversion, but he just heard Babasaheb, and he walked 8 days from my village to the Nagpur. It's 150 kilometers, took 8 days to get there. And so thank you. It's really, I'm very fortunate because when I got admission in the hostel, it was a real turning point in my life, because I not only got a good education in the hostel, but I got the Dhamma, I got very quality life, and I'm living very nicely actually. So this is all because of the Karuna funded hostel. Because I remember if I wouldn't get admission in the hostel, my life something would be very different. Because I would be not this. Yeah, that's true. So, and the second thing, you might be wondering that why I'm here in the UK. So when I had a very strong desire when my life, because this charity helped me a lot for my education. So I always thought to do something for the Karuna. And then I wrote a letter to the Karuna people, and he said, and he invited me. So I'm here, I'm doing fundraising appeal, and I'm, the knocking on the doors, I really got the both experience, positive and negative. But I enjoyed actually, and one of that experience I would like to share with you. The knocking on the doors. I was knocked on the Clifton Road, and I met one man. He has been to India many times. He said, "Oh, I've been to India. India is growing. India is becoming economically very sustainable. And why should I support Karuna? Or why should I support your country?" And he talked about the Bangalore and all the metro cities and all. I just asked him, "Have you been to Kathura Gandhi?" And he got very surprised that Kathura Gandhi, where it is? It is in south, north, center. No, Kathura Gandhi, the village I was from. I was born. And he said, the Kathura Gandhi in my village, still there is a caste discrimination. Still there is no any basic facility. You just saw the one part of India is really flourishing, but the other part of the India is still people getting deeper and deeper in that. So, this is, and I'm very happy to say that I hit my target. I raised quite a lot of money. But this is, so I don't know what to say, but thank you very much. I'm feeling very privileged and very happy to be here in the UK. And this is all because whatever I am now is only because of the Karuna Trust. Because if I haven't got the right opportunity at the right age, then my life would be something different. I wouldn't be here in the UK. So thank you to Karuna. Thank you to people who are supporting to Karuna. And we have a appeal this month, as in next month in September. So we are looking for the people, because there are many people in need like me who needs to be support to get access to the education, and so we are really looking for the people for the appeal. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, Sangamani, China, me, Sanganath, and there is a Karuna stall in that Yabon. So we are happy to talk to you. Thank you very much.
And the other side of our work in India is direct Dharma work. It's establishing Buddhism once more in the land of its birth by making Buddhism a practical reality for people. And that's largely done through our ordination processes, our ordination training, the work of the preceptors in India. And that is something that's supported by the Indian Dhamma Trust, which is who I work for. To speak of their experience of that side of Triratna in India, I'm going to welcome up Vidyavadini, who I've only known for a week, but who Dana Samudra has told me she's the ideal voice of Triratna in India. So we look forward to hearing that.
Jai Bhim. So, victory of Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar. So, Namo Buddhaya. I have mixed feeling, like I feel a little bit nervous also. Little bit, not much, because I'm more confident in this thing. So, I have little bit different experience apart of Bharat, because I belongs to other caste. So I haven't that experience, but as a woman, as a girl, I feel lots of discrimination in my family, in my society, and in other way. So I was from childhood, I have to say, because you are a girl, you don't allow to do this, you don't wear this, everything, all the discrimination. So in society also, so I feel why I'm a girl, why I'm a woman. If I have to live this kind of life, I don't want to live this type of life thing. So from childhood to till age of till 28, 29, I wasn't know anything about Buddhism. So what I was knowing, Hinduism and other religions. So just I tried to follow all the things what society said to me, but it wasn't fulfilling my needs. So I wasn't satisfied that much. So I just refused all the things when till the age of 18, 19. And I realized that it's better to focus on my education and other things. So it will be more skilled me, so I can get job and do. And once I become independent, I will do whatever I want. So I believe on myself. I just follow my heart, what my heart said, and I did my master degree in social work. So slowly I was working in NGOs with the prisoners and other thing, and I see lots of violence, lots of discrimination happening in society, and I make my views strongly and strongly that men are the main reason for all the violence. So I hate men. I was just hating, and I seeing that everywhere, wherever I'm seeing in my office, even in my family, though my father was just following what society said, but my brother was a big supporter for my education, for my job, everything. But still, I wasn't believe that in this whole world, men are good or kind of thing, until I came to know about Buddhism or our Sangha. So I was like a trainer, and I teach training in NGOs and things. So our Sangha in Maharashtra, they invite us to teach trainings to the youth girls. And then first I saw the stupa and the puja and everything, and it moved me. I feel that this is something different. The other people whom I'm contact with, they are different, but here even men are behaving very well. They seems that they are kind, but I wasn't still believe. But slowly it started because in my training I came to know about non-violent communication. So there were 2 other members, those who are certified trainers in Maharashtra. So yeah, I forget to tell you, I belongs to Bihar and I born and brought up in different state in Chhattisgarh where my father works. So that's why I think I wasn't know anything about Buddhism. So when I realized that there is something different here, people are practicing something different, so I was eager to know what they are doing. They are behaving literally different thing, the way they are talking, the way they are caring, so it's different. So I was very eager and decided maybe I have to stay, I have to shift to Maharashtra to learn more about what they are doing. And in between, when I decided to shift to Maharashtra and doing work, my father said that you are most of the time you travel and this and that, and we are not we are not accepted what you are doing. So either you have to accept our things, you have to get married and other things, or you have to leave the house. So it was a big question for me because for me I haven't any shelter and things. But at that time I was working in my NGOs as a trainer, and I was going to Bhaja to give another training. So that was a big turning point for me when I realized that outside of the society or outside of the Sangha, people tell me don't do this, don't do that. And here people are saying, oh wow, you have this quality. Because most of the time I question why this is, why that. Because my experience was everywhere discrimination and everything. So I was just seeing, okay, where they are making things. But they are open and accept whatever I'm saying. So that attracted me a lot. And then in starting, I argued a lot. Why this? Why not? Why non-veg thing is not allowed? And this, we are doing lots of questions. But the answer I get from the other people, the Sangha people, it convinced me. So inside, I was convincing, but it's still like not, is it safe side or not? I'm make good decision or not. So, but I was starting to get interested in this thing, and then some of my friends said that if you want to know more about Buddhism, you have to commit as a Dhamma Mitra. And it was like, okay, so, but I have no choice because I was very much attracted of all these things. So I said, okay, let's try. If I'm not satisfied, then any time I can come back. And I don't like meditation. Like before I wasn't, but yesterday people said that they attract from meditation, but I wasn't like much meditation. But later I realized that without meditation you can't change anything, you can't change yourself. So I accepted and I'm trying to do. So in that way I came across about things, and then I applied for Dhamma Mitra, and they accepted. And the main thing is they accepted as I was. There was no condition, just you have to be commit on that thing. So that was inspiring for me. If they said that you have to do this and that, so I think I wasn't accept. So they accepted the way I was, and then it started my journey. And then I was more interested in what is this Eightfold Path and know your mind and other things. So then they said that if you want to know more or learn more things, then you have to become GFR, you have to apply for GFR process. So it was like, okay, let's try, because I was like happy. I was learning lots of things. So it was not much risky, but still. So I applied, and then I don't know. I applied for Dhamma Mitra in 2008, and then for GFR 2009, and the journey starts, and I don't know, and this January I became ordained. So from outside of the Sangha, people, whatever they criticize my qualities or whatever, in Sangha everybody was appreciating me. Like you ask question whenever you want whatever, if you are not satisfied, don't do this. So it's helped me to understand myself also and Sangha, and through this I wasn't know that somebody is supporting. I just heard that from UK we get money, we supported from every retreat centers, because as a woman it's very difficult, especially in India, even you belongs to which caste, it doesn't much matter, but it's very difficult to do something for yourself which benefited you. It's very difficult. Even we can't much think about to buy, if you want something good dress or thing, we can't invest money for ourselves. So it's very difficult to go for retreat, to invest some money or pay fees for your retreats. It's very difficult. So whatever we get support from UK and things, it's really support us. And through when we come to the retreat, and then we realize what is Sangha, what is Dhamma, and what we know, what we want to enrich our life. So in that way, it's really helping us, because that's why I'm saying Karuna and future Dhamma people, they are not just supporting for the Dalits and others, they are supporting for everyone. So I am one of the bad girl or whatever from the other society, and I am here. So thank you so much.